To all of you, God bless you. Thank you so much for meeting me here this afternoon. You know, I have always loved the significance of the Jewish calendar, and 2014 is something in the Hebrew language called Ayin Dele, which is the year of the open door, and it's a year of resources and opportunities and new beginnings, which is really exciting news. However, usually on the cusp of those seasons, there are intense trials that preface those seasons. And so I want to talk today about how we respond to our trials, either makes us or breaks us. And, you know, there's a purpose, and God's purpose for us is that we grow and become more like Jesus in our daily lives to reflect more of him and less of us. And sometimes we can get complacent in our walk with the Lord, and our spiritual growth. And, you know, sometimes we can feel like we've reached a plateau in our walk, or we just don't have the fire that we had before, or we just are in a place of shattered faith. And I do believe that God allows adversity to come into our lives to move us forward in our walk with him and to cause us to grow. You know, how we respond to trials, they either make us or break us. And if we will submit ourselves to God during times of intense adversity, we will discover something about God, and we're going to discover something about ourselves. You know, first of all, we're going to discover what our view of God really is. We're going to discover where the weaknesses are inside of us and where our strength lies. We're going to discover through adversity where our priorities really lie. And, you know, is it God's command or is it my comfort? You know, I believe that God is looking for a people who have been tried in the fire and proven. And I believe that he is creating and molding a people who have learned to grow through adversity, and people who are willing to change in order to become more like Jesus in their lives. Because I do believe the testing and the trial is done purposefully and strategically to bring out the best in us. And in James chapter 1, verse 2, it says, "My brothers and sisters, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations." You know, James didn't say if you encounter problems, consider it joy. But when you encounter problems, you can count on it. You and I are going to have problems. If we don't, we could check our pulse to see if we are still in the land of the living. 1 Peter 4:12 says, "Beloved, think it not strange concerning the trial, the fiery trial, which is to try you as some strange thing has happened to you." And there's a reason for your trials. And James also tells us that knowing this, that the trying of your faith works patience, and let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect, wanting nothing. So pain can be productive, and pressure can produce, and suffering can accomplish something in our lives. James said, knowing this, isn't it good to know that adversity that you are facing and that I face, the problems, that they have a purpose? You know, you are not going whatever it is you're facing today for no reason. In those troubles, it is God who's at work doing something in you, with you, and I believe for you. I believe problems purify your faith. You know, James uses the words trying and testing. He uses a word to describe the process of purifying and testing gold. And in that process, the impurities rise to the top, the dross, it's burned off. And even Job said, you know, he has tested me through the refining fire, and I have come out as pure as gold. So trials test our faith. I believe problems produce perseverance in our lives. The trying of your faith produces patience. That's the ability to keep on. That's the ability to hang in there. That's the ability to stay and remain under pressure, and the ability to stay until the purpose is accomplished. And I believe that there are two ways that God really works for us to have less of us and more of him. And that's through the word of God, which builds our character and matures us, and through the circumstances of our lives. I believe that it's imperative as we face these trials that we look at the word, and it tells us to respond with joy. And that is not the normal way we respond to adversity. Oftentimes, our first response is to get angry and to question, why me, Lord? But James says count. The word count, it's an accounting word. It means to evaluate. So we respond with joy. We respond with prayer. We ask for wisdom to handle the trial. We ask God for help and understanding. We need to say, God, I know there is something good in this for me. Help me to see your plan and your hand in this adversity. Show me how to respond so that I can get the best from this. And then I believe, lastly, there's a reward for our trials. James also says, blessed is the man, is the woman that endures temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life which the Lord has promised to them that love him. God says there's going to be a reward. And I believe that. I believe what the Word of God says. And I believe that rewards are going to go for people who have, under great adversity, have stood up under those situations and they've developed the character of Jesus. And when that trial is finished and the purpose is accomplished, then in that we find God's reward. God not only wants you to receive the reward, but He wants you to love Him more. Trials are a part of life. Trials have a purpose in life. Trials will provoke a response in you and I. And I promise you, trials will bring forth their reward in due time. I'm praying for you today. I love you. I'll see you soon. God bless.